If you want to preserve happiness and protect your peace, here are some key things you need to be doing. Number one is setting some boundaries. Boundaries are important, and they're for you. Boundaries help you to draw a line around what is acceptable and what isn't. It helps you to know what you will tolerate, but it also helps other people to know what you will tolerate. The thing is, when we don't have boundaries, we will become resentful. We may become angry or bitter because people will take advantage of us. And this can damage our relationships. These can cause a lot of problems with our mental health as well. So set some boundaries and be assertive in maintaining your boundaries. A lot of people are scared to set boundaries because they think, oh, people will be angry or people will push back or people may not like me. The reality is that anyone who cares about you is not going to mind if you set a boundary. So the people that mind are the people you really don't want around you anyway. Set some boundaries. Number two is deal with your traumas. A lot of us repress or suppress our traumas, our problems, things that are really bothering us. We carry them around for years and years, and we think we are avoiding them. But the interesting thing is that that trauma that you haven't dealt with is showing up in the way you behave. It's affecting your relationship. It's showing up in your behavior, in your self-sabotage, in your habits, in everything you're doing. Your trauma is playing a role. It's there in the back room. It's really what's driving you. You have to sort out your traumas. You have to sort out your problems. And when I say sort out, it doesn't mean you have to completely heal. It just means you have to accept the thing that happened to you, be aware of it and its impact on you, so that you can actually start doing the work to heal yourself. The next one I talk about a lot is learning how to regulate your emotions. Emotional regulation is probably the one most important thing you can do for yourself. You see, if we don't learn how to manage and regulate our emotions, we're going to be at the mercy of emotion every single day. And you know, our emotion changes, at the flick of a button, we can have a different emotion. And that means that we will be responding emotionally to a lot of things. And what we know is that when we respond to things emotionally, we usually make the wrong decision. So we don't want to be making the wrong decision. We don't want to be acting rashly. We don't want to be speaking without thinking. We don't want to be getting into situations without processing, what are the possible ramifications of this decision. If I do this, what's going to happen? Give yourself time to think. Give yourself time to process. Walk away. You don't have to respond to everything someone says. Take time to think about it. Take time to go and process what you want to do. But learning how to do this is what emotional regulation is. And it's not easy, but it's very, very important for your peace of mind. The next one is about your self-care. Many of us neglect taking care of ourselves because we think other people need to be taken care of first. But the problem is that when we burn out, we're not going to be able to give our best to those people. So you have to fill your cup first before you can share it out to other people. So learn to take time out. Learn to recognize when you are stressed or tired and take time for yourself. The next one is about your physical health. And I want to talk a little bit here about moving your body because, we talk about exercise a lot in terms of depression and anxiety and mental health and so on and so forth. But if we focus on moving your body because your body needs to be moved, your body was created for motion. Your body was created to move. If you look at the skeleton of the body, everything is created for movement. So when we don't move enough, we're actually putting our body at risk of dysfunction. We're putting our body at risk of illness and disease. Moving your body doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as going for a 5-10 minute walk to start with. Get into the habit of moving your body in one way or the other. It will benefit you in every aspect of your life. And the last one I want to mention, actually another two, I mentioned this one, which is to do with food. Your food that you eat is medicine. And a lot of the illnesses, modern day illnesses we're seeing now, is as a result of poor food choices, of ultra processed foods, of foods that have no nutritional value. So choose your foods carefully. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat the stuff you like. Eat the stuff you like, but in moderation, especially if the stuff you like is unhealthy. But try to include foods that are good for your health, good for your gut, and good for your mood. And finally, learn how to say no. A lot of us struggle with saying no. We don't want to offend people. We're people pleasers. We want to be nice. We want to be kind. We think people will be offended. But the reality is, the longer you keep delaying the no, the longer you keep saying maybe, oh, I'll come back to you, the harder you're making it for yourself and for the other person. If something is not you, if someone asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, say no. If you do change your mind, you can always go back and say, actually, I've thought about it and I would like to do it. But saying no, if you feel that that's what you want to do, is the best thing for you and for the other person. Saying no means that you don't drag someone along with you. They're expecting that maybe you might change your mind. Learning how to say no and be assertive means you're standing up for yourself. That will build self-confidence and self-worth as well. And also, it's unfair to not say no to someone, even when deep down you know that really you're going to say no. You're actually, in a way, deceiving that person. And that's what happens a lot of the time when we have this thing about saying no. We end up lying to cover our tracks. We basically will do anything except say no. And no is so easy. Learn to say no. Yes, sometimes people don't like no, but that's not your problem. You say no, and that's it. You walk away. You don't even have to explain why you're saying no. But learn to be assertive. Learn to stand up for yourself. You have a lot more peace, and you'll be a lot happier, I promise.